Well, in an interview during Stephen A's radio show, which is on 98.7
New York FM.
Okay. Knicks head coach Mike Woodson said he wouldn't rule out cutting down J.R. Smith's minutes because of his recent shooting struggles. Smith has made only 7 of 30 shots in the series. 7 of 30 shots in the series. Is this a good idea or a bad idea? Stephen A., I'll start with you.
I think it's potentially a good idea simply because you've got to send a message that you need a high level of production this time of year. You don't want to lose faith in J.R. Smith. He's not the 6th man of the year for nothing. And he's a shooter and a streaky shooter at that. It's not like he's doing anything wrong. Things happen. Like Mike Woodson told me yesterday when we spoke, he would have been on the bench if it were not for what he's doing on the defensive side of the floor. He's been playing exceptional defense, and because of that, he's left him out there to sort of work through some of the things that he's been having shooting-wise, some of the problems he's been having shooting-wise. But there is no question he is in a significant slump. He was flowing until he got himself suspended by throwing the elbow at Jason Terry and connecting to his face. And from after missing Game 4, he hasn't been the same. He came back. He shot like 3 of 14. After that, he shot like 4 of 15. And he's been struggling in this series with 7 for 30 shooting. He's been awful in terms of shooting the basketball. He's got to get it together. And I think if you're Mike Woodson, you want to send a message to the rest of the team outside Carmelo Anthony. Anybody is expendable if you're not producing on the offensive end of the floor. And especially with the way Iman Shumpert has been playing. The more he plays, the better he seems to get offensively. And we know that he is an elite young defender. So to me, him and JR on the floor is a plus. But if JR can't hit shots, you at some point in time, you might have to sit him down and say, all right, we're going to have to sit you and see what somebody else can do because you're not getting it done.
So, Stephen A., let me ask you a question that Kerry asked me yesterday, which is, what's going on in the head of J.R. Smith since he got suspended? Did the suspension make him feel guilty? Did he lose confidence? Did he lose his mojo? What's going on in the head?
He and I spoke. He definitely felt guilty. He felt like he lost games 4 and 5 for the New York Knicks. Because remember, Boston came into the Garden down 3-1, and we thought that it was over, and the New York Knicks dressed in black, talking about they were preparing for a funeral, and ended up losing the game and putting immense pressure on themselves. JR felt guilty because he felt like the way he was flowing, had he not gotten himself suspended, the New York Knicks would have swept him. They would have ended that series 4 straight. So he took the onus, and he manned up and put the blame on his shoulders. I don't think that's been inhibiting him in any way since that series has ended, however. I think he's just in a shooting slump. And you got to shoot your way out of it. And I think he gets that. The shots are the same, Skip. He's shooting the same contested shots, making the same moves, creating just the minimal amount of space that he usually needs. It's no different, except the shots ain't falling. That's all.
If I'm Mike Woodson, I don't cut the minutes back. As you know, Stephen A., shooters shoot. We know he can make those shots because he made them all year. As you say, 6th man of the year. I would sit down JR and say, JR, I believe in you. Tonight you're going to snap out of this. I trust you. You're our X factor. You're our difference maker. Because as you know, Stephen A., if Melo's Melo, they can be pretty good. If JR is JR, man, they can beat anybody because that's unstoppable stuff that he does. And he can defend, so he can change games when he comes off the bench. I need him. I'm going to try to talk him back into it. Try to make him feel like the shots will fall tonight. And I wouldn't cut his minutes.
Well, let me say this to you. Nobody's advocating that he get benched, like he receives no playing time. First of all, the New York Knicks are not gifted enough to have him on the bench for big chunks of the game. He needs to play about 30 minutes a game. All I'm saying is that it may not need to be 36 or 38 or 40. You might need to cut some of those minutes to give somebody else an opportunity to show you what they've got. Chris Copeland can hit threes. Iman Shumpert has shown in these playoffs he can hit threes. You got other guys. Jason Kidd can't hit anything right now. You got to hope that he gets it together, but that's not what he's on the floor for, or the team for that matter. So I'm not advocating that you bench JR. I'm simply saying you might have to cut his minutes because at some point in time, those numbers of missed shots are going to hurt you.
All right. So, Stephen A., you say it has nothing to do mentally with him. I just want to make sure because there's a significant difference between him before the suspension and after. You don't think that had anything to do with it mentally?
No. I'm just saying he disrupted himself, his rhythm, the flow that he was on.
Okay.
But mentally, he's still the same JR.
All right. We'll leave it right there, gentlemen. Coming up next, the